Yeah? So what is it about? Tell me. It's quick trunkers who hit the sack. What do we draw? First thing we draw. Which is negative 2. Negative 2. Yes? Not 1-to-1 problems. Okay? So actually, this is that. If they ask you to find an inverse, not a function, you do, as we've done, so you just swap x's and y's. But we'll get in the practice. Most time we actually have to find a function. So I'm going to restrict this domain in the first place so that we can proceed. How would I restrict it to make it 1-to-1? X is greater than 0. Okay, now, x is greater than or equal to 0? Or greater than 0? For this case, greater than 0 because we've got that asymptote. Okay? So we're going to do that. So that really is my initial function. 1 over x squared minus 2, x is greater than 0. So that we're only looking at this picture like this. It's 1-to-1. And generally, I mean, you could have done that. You could have looked at the negatives. There's no correct way. They normally ask you to, when they do restrictions, and we'll do an example of it, they generally say the largest positive set or something like that. Okay? Or if it was in a multi-choice option, and they had that one there, that would be the only correct one. Do you know what I mean? They'd make up 4 other crap ones. So it'd either be left or right to make it 1-to-1. We're going to go with the easy one, make it right. Okay. We then proceed to swap x's and y's, because that's all we do. So it's 1-to-1 test. We now swap, transpose. Right, take the 2 over. Some people say cross multiply. When it comes to fractions like that, I just move. Yeah? Swap basically denominator. So y equals, what's the square root of 1 over x plus 2?
1 over x squared.
1 on root x plus 2? 100%. No choice. Guaranteed. Plus or minus? Plus or minus. That's your first step. Plus or minus. Now it's time for you to make a decision. Do I take the positive root? Or do I take the negative root? Or do I leave both?
You choose one.
Keep one?
It just depends on which side you choose.
Okay. So how do I know which one? You flipped, okay, but apart from flipping, how else can we test? Let's go back here. There's my domain, yeah? If that's my domain, what is my range for that function? The range is... Oh, seriously, I'm going to get them. I saw in the paper there's a little hearing aids you can pop in. I'm going to have to start getting them. Or you guys are going to have to speak up real loud.
R plus.
R plus? Okay, we've had an answer R plus.
Greater than minus 2.
Greater than minus 2.
That's gone, yeah? That's my picture. Looking at this picture, what's the smallest y value you're going to get? Something just sitting above negative 2. So y greater than negative 2, which is what you said, yes? Yeah, we all nod, well, that's what we meant. Okay, now, positive x values only, all my y values are going to be bigger than negative 2. I've now gone to my inverse function. So now we go formally f to the negative 1 of x, because that's how we write inverse functions instead of y, equals, I'm going to put this in, and I still have to make a decision. I'm going to put a positive or negative here. But what has to happen here? What's the domain for that?
Greater than minus 2.
Yeah? Because what was my range is going to become my domain. And what was my domain is going to become my range. Does that help?
Yeah. A lot so.
So am I putting the positive or am I putting the negative?
Positive.
Why?
Because you can't have x, if x you can't get a negative because there's a square root there.
Hang on. I can't get a negative. Why?
Like your x can't be greater than negative 2. Like
X is, thank you.
the higher x is.
X is greater than negative 2. That just makes sense for this function. True? I can put negative 1 in there, I can put 0, I can put 2, I can put 20, I can put whatever. So that makes sense. But if I put a number in there, let's say I put 0, right? Which satisfies this. I get 1 over the square root of 2,
Positive.
which is 1 over root 2. But if I put a negative in front of it, it'd just be negative 1 on root 2. So they both make sense. Which one is it?
It's positive.
You're saying it's positive. Prove it.
Because if you draw the if you do
No, I'm not looking at the graph.
The square root.
I don't know how to draw graphs. I'm really bad at drawing graphs.
The square root.
What's my range?
y is greater than negative 2.
Very big.
No. What's my range?
Y is greater than 0.
Y is greater than 0. Do I put a positive or a negative in there?
Positive.
Why?
Because the y doesn't.
Has to be positive.
It's greater than 0.
So it's a twofold step. Right? You've done your domain and range for your original function. Yeah? Do that automatic. Just do it automatic. Find my domain, find my range. Swap my x and y's, get myself an equation. Yeah? Write down the new domain, because when you write functions, you should always put that there. We don't do that often, but that should become automatic. That's good maths. But when you make a decision on this, this decision is your new range. Make sense? These are your new y values. To work out what your new y values have to be, you have to go back and look at your old x values. I only want to get old positive values here, which means the only guys that come out here are positive. That's your function. The positive root because my domain is positive. And it's all true about the flipping and everything else. I'm not disputing that for 1 second, and it cas and check. But you should also be able to justify it just on what's in front of you without having to sketch the graph. Okay?